This man is Eric Levy, aged 92. I haven't seen him for a little while. He came to Iraq with us as a human shield back in 2003. Eric, why are you here today?
Why are we here? Why are we here?
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you don't know, you'll never know. No, if you don't know, you'll find out soon, I hope.
The entire subject and focus of the trial has become, you exposed war crimes and we don't like the way that you did it.
Come on, fire.
We're going to shoot the messenger. They're sending a message. This is what will happen to you. You're going to go to jail for hundreds of years, and they're dragging him all the fucking way to the U.S. to put him in jail because he showed the U.S. for what it really is. And you claim you're anti-fascist, really? You're anti-tyranny? Yeah, show me, man.
Every stage, the law has been abused in order to victimize Julian. He has been silenced. He has been disappeared. Those who committed the war crimes or responsible for those war crimes have not been held accountable.
Julian publishes through the courage of Chelsea Manning.
Julian is in prison because WikiLeaks is a publisher that specializes in the secrets that states keep the most hidden. Julian revealed war crimes by the US government, the world's superpower, in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the fact that it had normalized, institutionalized torture. This assassination plot was as revenge for what WikiLeaks had published. This is a country plotting to assassinate a journalist because of what he has published. Julian has done nothing wrong, and the prosecution against Julian is the single greatest attack there has been on the First Amendment, and that is Trump's legacy. Julian is not a US citizen. He's an Australian citizen who was working as a journalist in the United Kingdom. He owes no allegiance to the US government. Since the 11th of April 2019, Julian has been inside Belmarsh High Security Prison, which is the harshest prison in the UK, known as Britain's Guantanamo Bay. It's also a difficult struggle for him mentally. Julian suffers from clinical depression. He has all his adult life. I have 2 children with Julian. They are 3 and 4. Our eldest was born when Julian was still in the embassy in 2017, and he would go to the embassy to visit Julian. We kept it secret so a friend would come in, posing as his father.
That is the danger posed by the US prosecution of Julian Assange. And I have to say that the time for fence sitting has run out. Colleagues, this is our last chance for a say on this case. If Assange is surrendered, he's gone. How can we talk about rule of law and not resoundly condemn this criminal prosecution and demand his release?
Across the country, we've learned there's so much support in America from normal Americans for Julian Assange. We've moved all the way up the East Coast from Miami through DC, Washington, Philadelphia.
All right, so we're outside Miracle house for a vigil. Really good turnout so far. This is right across the street from his house. So he can see us. He's home, apparently. He can see us. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Free Assange. Free
Hi.
all political
Free Assange. We're live on A4A.
Really important thing is that if this goes ahead, if this extradition and persecution of Julian Assange goes ahead under the auspices of the Espionage Act of 1917, if that goes ahead, then every news outlet, publisher, publication and journalist can face the same prosecution for any comment whatsoever that the United States Department of Justice doesn't really like, or Washington finds obnoxious or not to its taste.
I just wanted to say this. Until Julian Assange is free, none of us are free. The fight for Julian Assange's freedom is the fight for our freedom. The freedom to expose the lies of government. The freedom to expose war crimes. And the freedom to tell the truth. Orwell has been credited as said journalism is printing something that power doesn't want printed, and everything else is public relations. Well, every day Julian Assange is in prison. That is a mockery of our society's supposed commitment to freedom of speech and freedom of the press.
There are so many people here that really care about this case and care about their First Amendment rights.
I know we
people
can.
allege that I'm Glory Jones, bingo, but I'm just an anonymous personality, you know?
Yeah, I don't know who Glory Jones is. I've never met Glory Jones. I'm muted.
I was too.
God damn it. Okay. Hi everybody. Huh?
We're early today.
We are early today. I got my time zones confused. We were going to do a regular at 9. I'm going to be on RBN with Nick, and he said 8, and I thought that was 8 my time. It's 8 his time. He's Central. I'm Eastern. Anyways, I got it fucked up, and Andrew was just hanging out at work, so we decided just to go ahead and do it. Here's the thing. We got to try not to cry. I got to try not to cry because I got to go on RBN. So we're going to try. This is going to be a hard vigil for me, at least. I'm sure most of you have heard the news by now. We're going to get into that. First, let's go through the numbers. And please forgive me. This is going to be a little discombobulated because we didn't have time to type them into our doc or anything because we went early. So I'm just reading them from the little app that I have that keeps track of all this stuff. So forgive me for being a little all over the place. Okay, so we have 4,243 days of illegal and arbitrary detention for journalist and publisher Julian Assange. We have 3,683 days since Julian Assange entered the Ecuadorian embassy. We have 1,196 days since the WikiLeaks founder was essentially kidnapped from the Ecuadorian embassy in London. 1,195 days since the beginning of the persecution of Ola Beni. We have 1,791 days of inhumane pre-trial detention. I guess we need to fix that because he just had his trial. We need to talk about that just briefly. We only have an hour, but we need to try to get some of that in there too because he was just found guilty on all of his charges, which is bullshit. So let's see. We have, I guess we could add Leonard Peltier in there. Leonard Peltier has been, it's been 16,966 days since Leonard Peltier was arrested. So we need to call some attention to that. I feel like I'm forgetting other people. It's been 560 days since Julian Assange was denied bail following the January 4th decision by District Judge Vanessa Baratzer against the extradition request. When she said that he should be released and then 2 days later denied him bail. That's fun. Good stuff. 476 days since Daniel Hale pled guilty to one count under the Espionage Act. He is currently being held in a communications management unit in Illinois, right?
Yep, the Southern
I don't
Penitentiary
have any of
area.
that information in front of me. I apologize. Okay, so, we need to fix the Commander X thing too. Commander X is free. I don't know how many days it's been. It's been some days.
14, I think it was. Yeah.
That's it? Okay, all right.
Because our last vigil was the day that he got free.
Right, okay. Yeah, so Commander X is free. Good news. We love that. Also, there's been 401 days since Reality Winner was released, and 232 days since Craig Murray was released. And I'm certain that I forgot some numbers that we usually do in there, but that's the best I can do reading off my app on the fly. So there you have it. It's the best that we can do. Okay, so today's a tough day for the Assange family. We lost Eric Levy. Again, I have to try really hard not to cry. I'm already almost crying. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. All right, so as you guys know, I loved Eric. He has long been one of my favorite people on earth. For sure, one of my favorite protesters and activists. An absolute badass, bona fide badass. I'm going to pull up some of the reactions that we have seen. Oops, wrong one. From some people. So Richard Medhurst. Oh, hello, that just switched on me. So Daniel Fuchs, who is a dear friend of mine as well, also from London, has been on the ground with Eric many, many times. This is a drawing that he did of him, which is a lovely tribute. He did that some time ago, but it's still beautiful. The Courage Foundation, obviously, RIP Eric Levy, an activist who inspired many around the world for his tireless campaigning for Assange's freedom. Yes, and as you can see here, they've retweeted WikiLeaks, who said, rest in power, Eric Levy, staunch advocate for Julian Assange, who sadly passed away today, age 93. He was actually 94, but we'll forgive WikiLeaks that error. Let's see. Okay, Lul Inspector, obviously. always fight the good fights. That's what Eric Levy used to say. And he fought, like, not just for Assange. Obviously, he was a staunch advocate for Assange and was on the ground all the fucking time. Dude was in his 90s and rarely missed an action. It was a very rare thing for him to miss an action. He was out there usually twice a week on the streets, positively relentless. Let's see. As you can see, just a ton of people have been tweeting about it and talking about it. So, oh, there's our Trey. There's our Trey. We need the spirit of Eric Levy in us all. I couldn't agree more. I don't know too much about him. However, I can tell he was a fighter till the very fucking end and was a champion for the people. That is an understatement. Yes, he was one of the. I mean, I didn't know him very well. Obviously, he lived in London. We've spoken to him on this show a couple times. I've had conversations with him. Obviously, we love Allie, who was a dear friend of his and took very good care of him over the past few years. But he was just a good human. We really lost a good one. So here's Truman. Such sad news. God bless Eric Levy, a saint with an intact soul who spent his life fighting for peace. He's been a rock in the fight for Julian. He'll remain a massive inspiration and will always be a hero. Will live on, and all of those I'm guessing all of those who don't want to live in a world with, or who want to live in a world without war and hate. So there he is making signs. He was very good at that. He did that a lot. Again, here he is at the Ecuadorian embassy. You can see him right there.
That's the most, like, the pictures of him making signs. That's probably like the most Eric picture.
Yeah.
Is him just like painting.
No, there's a video. Well, it's not a picture. Okay, there's a video that is like the most Eric video that I've seen, and they're at Piccadilly Circus. Oh, look at him, handsome fella. They're at Piccadilly Circus, and I think it's in like COVID, and the cops are there harassing them, as they very often did. There's our girl Kendra. This is just so awful. I hope he could feel you all there with him, and hope he knew how much he was loved by many of us all around the world. Rest in peace, Eric Levy. I think he knew. Which gives me some comfort, because I genuinely, first of all, he was very cared for. He had a lot of really good friends in the Assange family who looked after him. I think he knows that he was loved and appreciated and respected. And so that, and he knew that he had a family. He was, okay, so yeah, but there was a video of him at Piccadilly Circus. I wish I could find it. But it's a video of him where the cops are like harassing him, and he just refuses to move. He's not going anywhere. And that's Eric. That was Eric. There's Stella. She tweeted about it as well. I think, oh no, that was, so this is when he was at the 50th birthday celebration last year. Last year. Stefan's I'm sorry. I don't know how to say his last name. I've had conversations with him about a couple things in the DMs, and he spoke to him a couple different times. There's this whole thread. If you go look, this whole thread is about Eric. He went to Iraq and was a human shield. That's who Eric is. So there's Ruby. Oh yeah, Ruby's cool. I wish I could find that video. There's James. I think that was before he died, though. Yeah, so I mean, there was obviously been a very big reaction from the Assange family. There's Alex. Rest in peace, Eric Levy. We love you, and we will keep fighting till Julian is free. And yes, that's like the absolute best way to honor Eric and his memory is to fucking fight. You know what I mean? Like I have like rededicated myself. Oh, there's Lou Inspector and Eric. Oh, there he is with Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah, I mean, there he is hanging up yellow ribbons. I mean, this dude was seriously a beast.
He never stopped. He never.
Yeah, he never stopped. He was the best. Yeah, he was the best of us. He was the best of us. I think that's fair to say. Hey, that's the exact same tapestry I got signed at Freedom Fest.
Which one?
The one right behind him. The big one with the
okay.
It's the exact same. I have it right here.
That's cool.
It's literally the exact same one. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to go through too much of this because I don't want to cry, and I will. I'm already struggling. Oh, look at him on the swing. That's so Eric. Yeah, we lost a good one, and I'm
So I
really
didn't
sad
get
about it.
to like go through and curate it, but we do have the video from January of last year when we did an interview with Eric. If we wanted to,
How long is it?
it was like a 2-hour vigil.
Oh, yeah, I can't do
Yeah, I
that.
don't mean the whole thing,
Yeah, I can't do
but
that.
I
Cannot
think
do
that
that.
would be a cool little.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would like to because I'm gonna ask Joe STFU shitlib. I'm gonna ask, or I already asked him if he would do like a tribute video and put together some of the clips of Eric and the pictures and some of the reactions and all of that stuff so that we can play that. But obviously, it literally just happened, you know, earlier, like this afternoonish. I think
Yeah.
maybe it was like mid morning. Um, I found out when I got back from the gym. It was a little bit after I got back from the gym. So, Reefer, I know I can cry. I have to go on RBN in 43 minutes, and I don't want to be a fucking mess. I don't like crying on screen, and I don't want to be a mess. I'm trying to keep my shit together. I've already cried a lot today. You guys
Yeah,
have a
no,
headache?
Steve's right. Let's go through the signatures on the
Okay.
tapestry.
We're gonna do a bigger tribute to Eric again. I'm gonna have a little tribute video made, and we'll maybe play the interview that we did with him before. So
I'll play through it and clip it out and pick the.
yeah, we're ill prepared, and also short on time, and also I just don't want to cry on camera. I don't want to do it. Okay, so yeah, let's for now move on to slightly happier things. I do have my thread pulled up. Let me share my screen. Hi, Steve, by the way. Steve, yeah, we're going to go through some signatures, my friend. We're going to do that. Steve was at, okay, so I guess maybe I'll preface this with a little explanation of what we're about to check out. So as most of you already know, or probably already know, last week I was sent to Freedom Fest by TNT Radio. Originally, as you guys know, the idea was I was going to crowdfund to do an exhibitor table for Assange. When I told my bosses about that, they were like, absolutely not, we will send you, which was cool of them. So I got to do broadcasting. I did interviews live from Freedom Fest. And then we also got to hand out a bunch of information about Julian Assange. Totally receptive audience. I think we maybe came across a couple people who were like, you know, iffy about it or whatever. But for the most part, extremely receptive audience. Everybody was really on board. I mean, the first day I had the big tapestry hanging up behind me, and people were like, I saw Assange's name and I had to come over. And I was like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it was a really cool experience, a lot of support. Cynic, there may be an opportunity for you to sign it at some point. We're going to take it around to some other stuff and try to get more signatures. So yeah, I was at Freedom Fest. I got there Tuesday night. The event started Wednesday. I was there Wednesday through Saturday afternoon. And so while we were there, I took a massive tapestry, a free Assange tapestry that I got from the WikiLeaks shop. We did this, as some of you may remember, we did this before with the WikiLeaks flag, the double-sided WikiLeaks flag that we got signed at all of our actions. And then we gave it to John and Gabriel Shipton last summer. So the idea is to do that again. So here is the tapestry with the signatures that we got. So some of the notable ones that we got, Zuby, if some of you are familiar with him, I think he's a rapper. I'm not super familiar with him. Honestly, I heard he was kind of a dick, but he signed it. So Zuby signed it. Let's see, Ben Swan from Sovereign Media, I think it's called. He's a journalist. He does really great work. I was honestly expecting him to be kind of a douche, and Kendra said he was super nice, and like was excited to sign it. So shout out to Ben Swan. That's great. And then we have Spike Cohen. Obviously, he's been a long time vocal supporter of Julian Assange. Eliza, my dear friend Eliza Blue, who I got to meet in person, which was fantastic. Let's see, Dan McKnight. He runs Bring Our Troops Home, an organization. I was actually supposed to interview him today, but we had a mix up in our scheduling. But I interviewed him at Freedom Fest. And so the organization that he runs is very focused on ending the wars and bringing our troops home, and he is hugely supportive of Julian's work, of WikiLeaks work. He said it's been very helpful to him in doing what he does. So he was very cool. Let's see, Del Bigtree from the Highwire. I also interviewed him as well, and he signed it. Scott Horton, obviously, longtime vocal supporter, cool dude. I love Scott Horton. Got to meet him in person.
I'm so sad I couldn't make it, man.
Dude, it was so. I wish it's never the same. It's never the same when you're not there. But it was still good.
I haven't got to like yell probably since like last September.
Oh, you need that, family. You know what I mean?
I'm like breaking.
So yeah, I mean, we got a lot, and other people signed it too. Honestly, a lot of people signed it, and I don't know who they are or who their signature is, because people sign funky. So we should have probably paid attention to who was signing and where, so that we could point that at. Kyle Anzalone, Connor Freeman, Patrick McFarland from the Libertarian Institute all signed it. Sarah Higdon signed it. Obviously, I think Stephen Pasta signed it. Kendra signed it. I signed it. A bunch of people signed it. But it's really difficult for me to know whose signature is who. So yeah, I'm pumped. The tapestry looks great. And I'm trying to think if there's and we got to harass Rand Paul. That's Rand Paul's a dick.
Weird
Rand Paul's
interaction.
a coward. Rand Paul can fuck all the way off. So okay. I'm sorry, Andrew. I feel like I'm talking a lot, which is really no different.
No, I wasn't there, so I like these stories. I don't know them.
Okay, so I mean, I talk a lot anyways, but okay, so here's our Rand Paul experience, right? So we knew he was going to be there. We were going to try to corner him somehow to get him to sign the thing, or just talk to us about Assange, because dude doesn't fucking talk about it, right? He's been prancing around all, I care about free speech, but he doesn't talk about Julian Assange. So we found out that he was doing a book signing. So I'm like, Kendra, you should go buy a book and go through the line and then ask him. So she did. And I wish she was here to tell her experience. I did not interview her. Myself, Pasta, and Steve did this is what our Freedom Fest experience has been like episode of my show on TNT. And she told about that experience there, if you want to go check that out. But so she came up to him and she, said, hey, why don't you talk about Julian Assange? And he was like, oh, I do. And I plan to write about it again. And she was like, no, but you don't. Like, I would know if Rand Paul talks about Julian Assange. He doesn't. So she called him out on it. She said he seemed really annoyed by the conversation. And she was like, well, hey, listen, we have a booth right around the corner. We have a tapestry there. We're asking people to sign. We would love it if you would come over and sign. And she was like, he's probably not going to come. So conveniently, right across from my booth, which was in the back of the exhibitor hall, was the shared media space. So that's like people were using it from different media outlets to conduct interviews and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, here comes Rand Paul right through the door, like right in front of us. He's literally, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 feet in front of us. And I'm like, perfection. Although I was about to go live. So it was stressful because I had like 13 minutes and we were like waiting for him to finish this interview so we could ask him. So he finishes his interview, and as soon as he starts, like, he gets up and he starts to walk away, we're like, Rand Paul, Senator, and he like looks over at us, completely annoyed. You can tell already he's pissed. I think he saw us out of the corner of his eye anyway. And I'm like, please. And I even called him sir. I was trying to be nice and polite, hoping that he would, at least just give us 2 minutes of his time. And I'm like, sir, please, can we have 2 minutes of your time? That's all we're asking for, just 2 minutes of your time. And he's like, I don't like to be forced into things. Nobody's fucking forcing you. Are you joking? Nobody's fucking forcing you. How can we possibly force a sitting senator to do anything? Are you joking? Like, he's such a fucking turd. So we, hey, can you please? And he's like, no. And he just turns around and starts walking away. And I'm like, I turn around and I yell, it's fucking Freedom Fest. You know what I mean? We're at an event called Freedom Fest. We're free speech activists. The future of press freedom is on the line, and this douche canoe won't give us 2 minutes.
I just love that you got to yell at Rand Paul.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie.
His dad would be proud of you.
Huh?
His dad would be proud of you.
I know, and I wish I would have yelled. Your dad would fucking sign it.
because I keep saying
That's
that.
probably what I would have said.
I know, I'm so mad that I didn't, because I've been saying that for like the last several weeks. Like, your dad talks about it. Why won't you talk about it? So now I've been tweeting
that
at
should
him.
be the meme. That's what he should get memed with. Is like your dad talks about it.
Yes. Please, everybody, go bother Rand Paul and tell him that his dad would have given me 2 minutes without hesitation. No hesitation. Ron Paul would have been like, absolutely, let me sign this thing. What can I help you with? I have no doubt about that. And Rand Paul is a fucking coward. I mean, really? You're not going to get, it's Freedom Fest. We're a bunch of free speech activists in 2 minutes. I literally only had 2 minutes. I was about to go live. Like, that's it. That's all I got, homie. And he wouldn't even talk to us. And then turned away and ran like a coward. He is a coward. Fuck you, dude. Oh, what a disappointment he is. Yeah, he did have a solid half a dozen security guards around him too. And he is a tiny fella.
I sent you a link on Discord, Steve. Or on Discord, on Element. I don't know if you want to get in or not. We're not going to be here for forever.
Yeah, we're going to be here for like, I don't know.
15, 20 minutes.
Maybe. Yeah, so Rand Paul is a fucking coward. And a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. He wants to talk about how much he cares about free speech, but the greatest threat to free speech, he can't. You're not gonna talk about that?
See, I feel like he like knows that his dad would have signed it though. Like you don't have to say it.
No, but we need to. We need to publicly embarrass this fool. Seriously.
We do. I wish it was on video. That would have been even better.
I do have it on video. I haven't. Yeah, it's not great because I was like flailing my arms around like I do. And it's not very long because he like instantly turned us down and walked away. But I haven't downloaded or anything, trying to like fix it up a little bit. But yeah, it's bad.
Heck yeah.
I even called him Sir Andrew.
That's like the Paula Jean thing where you're like all due respect, ma'am.
All due respect, yes. Listen, people always try to tell me that I'm mean and I'm too aggressive. I start off by being nice. 100% of the time, I start off being nice. It's when you fuck with me that I'll come for you. You know what I mean? Like I called you sir. Like that was your last shot though. That's all I got for you. That's it. That's all the respect I have for you. You just wasted it.
Need. I called you sir.
Oh shit. I do. Yeah, Rand Paul's a coward. He just proved it. Seriously, we're not scary. I'm not scary. You know what I mean? I'm not scary.
Of any of us, you're the least scary.
Right? I'm not scary. I'm like just chilling over there, like, sir, please, can you just give me 2 minutes? I said, please. I called him sir. I was very non-hostile, non-aggressive. We didn't even get close to him. Like we stayed, stayed backed off.
Did you like?
We didn't want to like rush him.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I mean, really. And poor Pasta, like Pasta was trying to get his attention too, and I just like ran right through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm pissed off at myself because I thought there might be a little tiny chance that Rand Paul was going to sign it, or at least he would talk to us, because he talks a big game, you know, and he is Ron Paul's dad. Who, listen, I don't agree with Ron Paul and everything, but he's, you know, a pretty cool dude. And
like people give him such big props for grilling Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
Why the fuck isn't he sitting down Mike Pompeo?
Right.
Like, where is he sitting down Mike Pompeo about the actions of the CIA and UC Global and all of that took place?
Yeah.
Where are his congressional hearings happening, grilling those people about that incident?
Those don't exist. And I'm just going to show you Rand Paul's Twitter feed, because dude says he talks about, seriously, if you can find him talking about Julian Assange recently, send it to me and I'll eat my words. But I think I would know if Rand Paul was talking about it. It's what I do. It's what I pay attention to. This is the only mention of it on his Twitter page. That's it. This is it. Assange from Rand Paul, July 30th, 2019. What does totalitarian China have in common with deep state supporters in the U.S.? China imprisons dissident, I don't know how to say that, Huang Kui, for 12 years for whistleblowing. Deep staters in the U.S. want to imprison Julian Assange for life. Free speech, anyone? Yeah, free speech, anyone? Rand? Free speech? You talk a big game about free speech, but you never mention Julian Assange. Seriously, what the fuck? It's hard to take you seriously. It's hard to take you seriously. I'm angry. I'm still angry. Like, this was like a week ago. Not even. but I'm still pissed off. Fuck
I'm
that guy.
surprised you got to yell at him.
I did. It felt good. It really did. But really though, Freedom Fest. Like
and of all the topics, like of all the issues to be
the
there.
single most important one.
Yeah. Like you have bodily autonomy and free speech that are falling to pieces right now. And of course privacy. That's gone.
Which bodily autonomy and privacy are both directly they're directly connected to free speech. Like we can't even have conversations about those things without free speech. So to me, it's the single most important issue. I realize I'm biased, but that's my opinion. And again, he talks a big game. Seriously, he gave that great speech in Congress where he's talking about how the United States government is the biggest purveyor of misinformation and free speech is essential. And all of those things are absolutely true. But if you actually believed in those things, you would be talking about Julian Assange, which is the greatest threat to free speech and press freedom we have ever seen, which is like, we're this close to losing it. Like we're very,
the problem with someone like Rand Paul, right, is he has more to gain in a political position by being quiet and not talking about the trash that Trump did than he is to talk about it and throw the entire Republican establishment under the bus.
Yeah. Hi, Steve. He's an opportunistic coward.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Fixing to get more.
Yeah. Steve was there. Steve saw it.
I was immersed in the fest of the freedom. Actually, my favorite thing about the whole weekend was Kennedy, the former MTV VJ, who has a show on Fox now. She showed up in a mock AOC taxation is theft dress.
Nice.
And without, overstepping, hell of a freedom wagon. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. No, but it was a good time. Actually, man, Eliza Blue's talk on the last day was freaking incredible.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have stayed for a little bit more of it. She crushed it.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And I mean, she's just fucking gorgeous too. Like in real life. I mean, obviously her picture, she looks gorgeous. But like she wore this amazing like sequenced outfit, which people were giving her shit about on Twitter.
It was a one-piece gold jumpsuit, and it was
great.
Hotter than a $50 Glock, dude.
Seriously.
It was rad.
Seriously, she looks so. And people gave her shit about that on Twitter. Like, you're talking about a serious subject. Don't you think you should dress appropriately? Like, she's fucking Eliza Blue. That is appropriate.
You know what she said?
What?
Her response to that was, I didn't survive human trafficking so I could dress like Hillary Clinton.
Perfect comeback. Yeah, she was amazing. I mean, I didn't get to see her speech, but just meeting her in person, I wish I would have got to hang out with her a little bit more. She was great. The guys from the Libertarian Institute were fantastic. I was so pumped to be able to meet them. Kyle Anzalone was a regular guest on my the other show I did on TNT Radio, the Misty Winston Show. He was my every Monday at 3:00. So getting to meet him in person was cool. I adore him. Connor Freeman, Patrick McFarland, obviously Scott Horton. I got my book signed. I was very pumped about that. I love Scott Horton. I'm not a libertarian, but I like the guys. We had great conversation. It's crazy, y'all. I spent like 5 days at a conference filled with people I don't agree with on everything, and I'm okay. I survived. I'm good.
How could you survive that, Missy?
I know, right? But we had like really productive conversations. We found points of agreement where we could have like nuanced discussion about those things, and it was crazy. I was told that couldn't happen. Weird. Totally weird. Yeah, we did good. It was good. Freedom Fest was pretty awesome. I mean, it was a conference, so it wasn't like...
Pasta almost got kicked out.
Pasta did almost get kicked out. A couple times.
What? What happened there?
He went to an anti-communist panel and almost started some shit, and then he went to an election integrity panel that was talking about the 2020 election and whether or not it was rigged, and that made him mad too. So, yeah. He almost got kicked out a couple times.
That's good. He needs to be on those panels, you know?
Yes, like yes.
Yeah.
Pasta. If anybody needs to be on that panel, it's like Pasta would be a good choice for that. Hey, Chicho's here. Hey, Chicho. Hey, Chicho. I just want to say thank you. I put a comment on your YouTube video. But Chicho is amazing. He is an ASMR kind of guy, which you guys know I love. It might not be your thing, but he just does great content. Period. Comic books, cooking, like very diverse content. But he always makes sure to talk about Julian Assange and keep like that, bringing that up. So shout out to Chicho for doing that and exposing his audience to that, because he has a pretty big platform. So kudos, brother. He's great. Seriously, go check him out. He does some of his stuff on YouTube, but because YouTube fucking sucks, he's on like I don't think he's on Twitch anymore. He switched to shit. What's the name of it? Dang it. Chicho, tell me in the comments.
Rumble, D Live.
I don't remember what it's called.
BitChute.
I know he's on BitChute, I think.
It can't be Super You. They just went.
Oh no, maybe
Yeah.
he is on Twitch.
said
I
he's
think
on
he left
Twitch.
Discord. Yeah, he's on Twitch. I think he left Discord. I think that's what I heard. Maybe.
Discord's
yeah.
a freaking cesspool anyway, man.
Yeah. So yeah, he's on Twitch. He's doing Rumble soon. He puts like he'll do like certain clipped out things on YouTube and then tell people where to find him. So if you just go to YouTube, you can find links to all of his other stuff. He's great. He has the Misty seal of approval.
I think we're gonna put the morning show on Ben Swan's platform.
On Sovereign?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that he was it him that was mad that you weren't on there, or was it the Float guys?
The Float guys were, but that's
Who are
just
the Float
because Float, FLOTE, is a streaming platform, blockchain and crypto based, that was built by a dude named Kingsley Edwards, whose father is serving like a double life sentence for drug charges, as a ward of the state of Texas from Joe Biden's crime laws. Yeah. So he's like he's all over the Freedom Fest stuff, but he's also all over like the whole Ross Ulbricht thing. He's all over the Assange thing. They've been really good and really consistent about that. Offered to have me go speak at the thing this year, but I couldn't make it, so I'm probably going to do that next year's a float festival.
Oh, they have a float festival?
They did, yeah. There was their first one this year. But Union of the Unwanted was really kind of like where it came out of, and a couple of the people from that scene went down and spoke, and like Sam and Charlie, and I think Rick. I don't know if Ricky made it or not, but a number of the other content creators and a number of the doctors that had been on Union of the Unwanted throughout before they ever got to like Joe Rogan or any of those other shows. They came out and talked to. I'm like directly below a light. I don't know why it's so freaking dark.
There you go. Just like that.
Oh shit.
I'm in a witness relocation hotel room somewhere and not
You
my
just gotta
apartment.
do like the muffly voice.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
You can do your voice is kind of hard to mask.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to like go commit a crime anywhere, be able to talk or anything like that. You could never be a bad guy with a catchphrase.
No,
You just
you're gonna have to
know.
be a silent criminal.
Right.
Like a mime.
That sounds like a lot of work. Screw that. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Oh goodness. Okay. Should we talk about Joshua Schulte real quick?
Yeah, if we could, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I got like 20 minutes. Nick said he's going to start at 15 after, so I don't have to rush. So that's good. Thanks, Nick, for being flexible. Appreciate you. Okay, so Joshua Schulte was convicted on all, 9 counts? 9? Hold on, let me pull it up. Let's see. So for those of you that don't know, Matthew Russell Lee from Inner City Press is 9 counts. pretty much the only journalists that covered this at all.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Shout out to him, but all of his analysis really outside of the tweets is behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And he's not very responsive to interview requests.
No. I mean, he sat down with Kevin Gostola. Kevin Gostola did an interview with him. I've reached out to him. Didn't hear anything back.
I am going to leverage my friendship with Addy Ads and have Addy twist his arm.
Nice. Yeah, he's
Tell
not...
me about the things that your life's work that you want people to know about. Why is that so hard?
I know. It is a little strange, but I mean, whatever. I mean, he's also busy. I mean, he covers New York court cases. Like, he's covering the R. Kelly stuff. A whole bunch
he did
of
the Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, he's on it. He's all over. He's a busy dude. You know, I'm not that scary.
Yeah.
Not.
It's just the lighting. It's
just the lighting. If I move this,
oh goodness. Yeah, and he's also gone to battle with the court too. A lot of things were like they were trying to shut down the courtroom when CIA agents were testifying, and he was fighting them with that. There was also an email that was received by the court on July 15th, and they sealed that. He's gone after them to try to get that unsealed. So yeah, I mean, he's putting in the work. So, I mean, hey, even though he doesn't respond to me, I mean, I'm nobody, so I don't really blame him. But I wish he would. It'd be cool to talk to him. But yeah, just, I mean, seriously, nobody fucking covered this. The largest CIA leak in history. And this is the guy who's allegedly the leaker. And nobody's talking about it, which is a little crazy.
As his own lawyer.
Yeah, representing himself, which is.
If
when they do look, sorry.
If you're a scrub fucking reporter anywhere, if you're anyone who has reported on press freedom, if you had the ability to get there, why the hell weren't you, man? Like, it's the largest release of CIA classified information on the planet ever. It's all of the hacking tools that they had 5 years ago. From that, you can kind of extrapolate and figure out what the surveillance state is up to now, what kind of capabilities they might have. You're already in a courtroom. You look at a couple other court cases and see that the Department of Homeland Security is being sued in the exact same venue by the ACLU for getting location data from third-party vendors, side-skirting the law, and making sure that they can cross-coordinate with location data and all of the text messages and all of the private messages that you're sending that they can siphon all day, every day. Yeah, good times.
And even when it's covered, right, you have the Newsweek piece that spends like 45 minutes of an hour-long read fluffing about what he did at work and what his colleagues thought about him, and how they literally say in like a sarcastic fashion that the United States government argued the lack of evidence proves guilt that he did it because he's so good at hiding it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's
so
now
stupid.
Like a thing that people can be found guilty with as an argument.
A lack of evidence now proves your guilt.
Well, the fact that they make him shit in a bag and that you have to listen to the Newsweek article for 45 fucking minutes before you find out that this dude's literally forced to shit in a bag in the same room that he has to meet his lawyers in. Like, that should be at the top of the article, and the Nerf dart should be at the bottom.
Yes.
Right.
You know?
No, instead they're opening with Johnny Cochran, but as the prosecution. The absence of evidence does not mean the evidence of absence. This man did the thing because I can make it rhyme. Like, that's kind of how they went about it.
Yes. And they even did it. This is his second trial. So he was he went to trial in March, I think, of 2020. And it ended up in a hung jury. He was found guilty on 2 like minor charges. I forget what they were. But then the major charges, there was a hung jury, and they even admitted in the courtroom that they really don't have any evidence that it was him, that they can't really prove that he's the leaker. And now in this trial, the absence of evidence that he's the leaker is now somehow evidence that he's the leaker. And so far right now, there's no sentencing hearing because there are apparently 3 additional charges. And I'm trying to figure out why there's no, those are still pending, I guess.
Oh, because they charged him with kiddie porn after the fact.
Oh, okay. So that's what that is?
That's what that is. They're saying that they went and recovered a laptop, and on that laptop, they magically happened to find.
Crazy how that happens.
He's too good at hiding the evidence of committing a crime that you can't find him leaking the most important, valuable
but
national
not smart
security
enough
weapon.
to get rid of the porn on his computer.
Right.
That is exactly what the United States government is alleging. And
like that better be his fucking defense's argument. Like, no, like you said,
he was his defense, Andrew.
Well, like him,
yeah,
you know.
I'm sure it will. I mean, I'm sure it will be, but
like the most fucked part is that they literally can't prove that it's him.
I know, but yet he's been convicted on all 9 counts.
Because his argument is like, yo, it's not fucking me. Like, I didn't do this, guys. Like, that's literally his argument. And they're like, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah. So there's a status conference set for July 26th at 3 p.m. So in 6 days, Andrew, we need to make sure we pay attention to that. We can talk about it on the Vigil that week. I don't know what a status conference is.
I'll try to book Kevin Gastola now, and then we can talk about what all that is.
It'd be cool if we could get Matthew Russell Lee, the guy that's been covering it. Hit me up, homie. Been trying to get a hold of you.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Addie was supposed to be like hanging out at the house here last week for Freedom Fest, and then his
flight got
delayed, and then it got delayed a week.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
That's what they told him at the airport. I'm sorry, our next available flight for you is next week. He's like,
until after the festival.
That's what they tried to tell me. Well, gosh, last year, 2 years ago, something like that, when I went out to Denver for Human Rights Day. I was going to fly out, and it was like clear blue sky. And they go, "Oh yeah, your flight's been canceled. And your airline isn't running flights until Tuesday." And it was like a Sunday. And I'm like, well, I have to be at work in California tomorrow morning at 8. So we're going to have to fix this. And then when I got there, on a different airline, out of pocket, 4 hours later to get home, like 6 hours later than I was supposed to get home originally the first time, I saw several Frontier planes running flights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how signature reduction works,
away
right?
From the dog, huh? Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
No, you're good.
Halo, I tweeted out earlier, Kaylee's been off of Twitter, and I wanted to make sure she knew about Eric, and so I was trying to, but Halo, I guess Kaylee's on Telegram, so I need to go find her on Telegram. We need like a phone tree in case we all get shut down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for real. Like half of my friends all got banned in one day. We were like, hey, let's do raccoon things. And they were like, okay, well, you're no longer on Twitter. And I was like, it makes me sad.
Yeah. Reed got banned, which still makes me sad. Bring back Reed Coverdale. Got to meet Reed at Freedom Fest, which was great. And Clint Russell, who I interviewed while we were there. Clint's great. Like, again, libertarians. I'm not a libertarian. We get along just fine.
The Southern Poverty Law Center went after Reed and Scott
and Clint.
Andrew Yang.
Oh, not Clint. Yeah.
Reed, Clint, Andrew Yang, and Dave Smith, who wasn't even there.
Right.
Because Ryan Dawson is on a show with Reed and Eric Jackman,
the Four Horsemen,
and Clint. Yeah.
Dude, I
That's
still
why
get
Andrew
shit.
Yang's such a weird target for this other
Andrew
pop.
Yang can just fuck off. I was on Magnus's show with Ryan Dawson maybe like 2 years ago or something, and I still get shit for that. And I'm like, y'all, I don't get, like, come for me. I'm gonna talk to whoever the fuck I want to talk to, even people I disagree with, even people you find repugnant. I don't care. I don't like Ryan Dawson. I think he's a loudmouth. Like, he loves to hear himself talk. You know what I mean? He's kind of a douche. I don't like him, but he wants to free Palestine, and that's what the conversation was about. I'll talk to whoever. I don't care. People need to get over themselves.
I'm surprised I haven't got a DM from one of the Bank sisters yet going, we just got yelled at for going on your show. Because, like, that's kind of where it's at. Like, people have been yelled at for coming on our show. People have been told not to. It's like, oh no, you can't associate with those, and it's like, we're not selling anything.
No.
What are you afraid? Like, we're literally not selling.
Just having conversations.
We're not trying to give you a candidate. We're not trying to give you an ideology. We're not trying to give you avoid the doctor, miracle cure for anything. There's no sheath underwear. There's no blue chew. There's none of it. It's what are you afraid of? Like, the people that watch produce the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what,
And yes, I don't know how to spurs one. Freedom Fest is targeted towards libertarians and conservatives. So yes, a majority of the people there were libertarians and conservatives. That is kind of the point of it all. But I mean, there were some other leftish leaning people.
I mean, they did have Andrew Yang in there. They did have Glenn Greenwald in there.
Greenwald was there.
What's his name? There. Oh man, I don't know.
I interviewed the guy and I can't remember his name. That's terrible. I'm so bad at names.
But
I talked to a guy who was kind of more, I would say more like center left, but
there was some more lefty people there, and then there was like gormless, replaceable white dude on the hill that isn't Ryan Grimm, but
Robbie, right?
Sure. Yeah, if you say so. Yeah, no, like, I'm serious. Like, I think
his name is Robbie.
Sounds great. That dude was there.
Yeah.
There was like a whole ghost writers thing.
Yeah.
They would crack me up. I told Kendra, I was like, look, dude, they've got the Christians set up right next to all of the money changers and the money lenders because it was all, Bitcoin and alternative currency and gold and silver, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of the super hardcore religious booths were set up right next to all of the money lenders. Like, it was just freaking ironically hilarious.
Well, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, anybody was welcome. Like, they don't turn people away that I know of, but it is targeted towards that.
Did not see an Antifa booth. Gonna say that. Might have been a little discriminatory. Didn't see a Proud Boy booth though either.
No.
In fact, there was a very low representation of like Fed stacked front groups.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. It was good though. Seriously, I had some really great conversations with people. I was able to find many points of agreement. And listen, maybe we agreed on the end game, but disagreed on how we get there or whatever. But that's why you have those conversations. You know what I mean? I'm just really tired of people telling me who I can and can't talk to. I'm a grown ass woman. I don't care if people like it. Like, I'm not here for your approval. I'm just not. So deal with it. I don't care. I really don't. It's painful. Because I've talked to Clint and Reed about this. Because I'll get shit for talking to them. And they'll get shit from their side for talking to me. And it's stupid.
Like, it's really fun. See, what you should do in that situation is try to see how much shit you can get by being share, like by sharing a conversational space, you know, because all that does is put more eyes on you, because the people that give,
like, that's the point. Like, how are you supposed to get anything accomplished if you won't talk to people outside of your echo chamber? You're just going to preach to the choir and expect to get the things that you care about? That's not going to happen. You have to have conversations with people that don't already agree with you and get them to come over to your side and fight with you. That's how you get things done. So if you want to sit in your safe space and feel smugly superior to other people, do you, boo-boo. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go have conversations with people. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm selfish. I want to get shit done. So I'll do whatever I have to. I'll talk to whoever I have to. If talking to Clint Russell, which, listen, I just like Clint Russell.
If yelling at Rand Paul.
Yeah, I'll yell at Rand Paul. I don't care. Like, if that helps me get Julian Assange free, I'll do whatever the fuck I have to. I'll talk to whoever the fuck I have to. It's really weird that that's controversial. I don't understand it. I genuinely do not understand how grown-ass adults can be like, yeah, we totally just got to sit over here and just talk to each other.
We got a Ron Paul meme made.
Yeah, like, it's just so stupid.
I had Clint on my show to yell at him for bootlicking over something, you know, and like and then to talk to him about like why I think you should chain the door shut to election polling places rather than run a candidate and have somebody get rigged out of their vote in one. And that was like a year and a half ago. Like, and I mean, like, we talk frequently.
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing.
I love Clint.
Like, yeah,
He's
we're
great.
allowed to disagree on like two of the fundamental points of both of our shows.
Yeah.
Openly.
It's normal to disagree with. I don't even agree with myself all the time. Like, I am consistently presented with new information that contradicts my previously held opinion, and I do what grown-ups should do, and I reevaluate and change my position. Like, that's a very strange thing. You're never going to find anybody that you agree with 100% of the time. So the idea that it's controversial that you go speak to people that you disagree with is very strange.
I've never agreed with any of my co-hosts 100% of the time. They've hopefully probably never agreed with me 100% of the time.
Kendra and I were just talking about this. Like, MCSC is a great example. We're all very different, but we get along. We're all friends. We're all fams. We all, you know what I mean? We get together, we hang out. We all have very differing opinions. And I mean, we have some similarities, but we have a lot of very differing viewpoints. You know, Fee's a communist. You're an anarchist. You know what I mean? Like, but we all get along. It's fine. We bust each other's balls. We get in arguments, but we're still friends. That's
the only thing that sucks is that commies don't have a sense of humor, so they don't know that me and Fee are joking.
Yeah.
And they think that like it's all
You're
serious.
really fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Or that like she's making valid points when she's like, I'm gonna let you live 3 extra days before we put you against
on the wall.
You know, and they're like, yeah, no, actually that guy deserves to be shot. Yes, you are correct, Queen. You are correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, hey,
just a couple weeks ago, I busted Nico's balls about something, or I don't even remember. And then the turds on Twitter were like, "Oh, there's beef between Misty and Nico," and I'm like, not even almost. I mean, we had literally just done an hour-long interview on TNT. We got along fine. We're doing great. And they're like, "Oh, there's beef between Misty." No, I sent it to Nico. I'm like, "Did you know we were fighting?" I didn't know we were fighting.
Pasta and I play fight every day, and people think it's real.
I know.
They
just don't understand the dynamic, I don't think, which is fine.
Yeah, they just haven't been here that long.
Hi, Pasta.
He's asleep right now, but I mean, he's literally like around the corner.
Pasta is the best, by the way.
Yeah, he really is.
He really is the best. Like, he is so like gentlemanly, which is, you know, whatever. Like, when he called an Uber for me, he made sure to walk me outside to make sure that, you know, I got picked up and that I was the right car and all of that stuff. He opened my door for me, which is like, I don't need that, but it's just he's the best. He is the best. He really is.
No, it's and it's so, it really is like, it's incredible to watch the dude like work a room and
he's so good.
do his thing. That's not me.
That's
at
not me
all.
either.
At all.
Either.
I'm a way back in the cut, and like when it's time to go do something, I'm usually at the front of the line. And
I'm an observer.
But
not a mingler.
I prefer to do, I would rather be like a small group or voluntary interaction as opposed to randomly. Yeah, dude, that's not, no.
That's not me either.
No.
He's very good at it though.
No, I don't want to meet you. I want you to meet me. It's like
I don't even want you to meet me. I'll meet you if I have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool to just like sit back with my friends and like people watch. I don't need to interact with anybody else. I'm very, I don't know. I'm very awkward in real life, as you guys know. So I'm cool with just chilling in the back. I'm good with that. Like I'm just gonna say it out loud. I am incredibly proud of myself for going to Freedom Fest. That was entirely out of my comfort zone. That's not something that I'm really all that great at doing, because I was kind of the face of TNT there. I had to interact with a lot of people. I had to sell TNT to a lot of people in addition to spreading information about Julian Assange. And that's not really my my strongest thing. So I'm really proud of myself for stepping outside
Heck
of what
yeah,
I'm,
dude.
it's not easy for me.
I had to microdose a couple of the days because it's too much fluorescent lights. It's too many people.
It's sensory overload.
This is a stupid question, but how was the power situation? Was like the Hoover Dam and shit off? There wasn't any interruption?
No, there was. I had
I have to double check on that. I don't know if it's still off, so I don't want to be incorrect.
No, there was one transformer that blew like yesterday.
Okay.
There's a couple of different. Yeah, I mean, if Vegas experiences a power outage, the last place it's gonna happen is inside one of the casinos.
Yeah.
I
had one issue with internet, but it was just like very intermittent, and it was just for one of my interviews. So I did 3 hours each day.
Really weird, random dead spots.
Yeah.
Where it's just you're walking and it's fine. I can't make a phone call. I can barely make a phone call in my house.
Yeah.
I have to go step outside. And so every time I do like the critical hour or some kind of radio spot in the middle of the day, I have to do it outside on the phone in Las Vegas. Where
it's like 148 degrees at 9 a.m.
It's 6 o'clock right now. It's 110.
Yeah. It was nuts. Like I woke up at like, I don't know, 3:40 because I'm on East Coast time the first day and checked the weather and it was already like 91. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm staying inside today.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't have a choice, but I was staying
at
inside.
midnight. It's just cooling down from that day. It hasn't even started to cycle back up
the next day. Yeah, totally. It's terrible. And speaking of microdosing, Steve was like doing his thing, and I was very tempted. I think it was like the middle part of the second day, but in my 6 o'clock hour, I was supposed to have Del Bigtree and Dr. Malone, and I was like, do I want to microdose before I have Del Bigtree and Dr. Malone? And I'm like, well, I want to, but I probably shouldn't. And Pasta's like, no, you probably shouldn't.
It would have been way more fun.
No, I'm glad I didn't though, because that's the day that I was scheduled to broadcast from 6 to 7, and they closed the exhibitor hall at 6:30. So I interviewed Del Bigtree, and that goes fine, great. Everything's, he was fine. And then like I finished up with him, and I'm getting ready to bring Dr. Malone in, and everybody's like, oh, well, they're closing the exhibitor hall. So literally Dr. Malone just leaves. I'm live. He's supposed to be my guest, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go, nothing personal. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then on the loudspeakers, they're like, the exhibitor hall is now closed. I'm live, like trying to broadcast all this. And then the security guard's talking to Kendra, and I'm like, great, I'm going to have to argue with the security guard live on the air. This is going to be awful. But it worked out. It was fine. It was fine. I just had to fill. There was a lot of fill for Misty Winston at Freedom Fest. I had to fill a lot of time. The entire first hour I did on Wednesday, my 10 o'clock hour, my guest didn't show up. Whole ass hour, had to fill it. Jesus Christ. It was terrible.
That's when you just start doing man on the street or something.
I was like confined to my booth, and it was the first day. Nobody was there really yet. Like they were just starting to set up the exhibitor hall. I'm like, I had nobody to like even grab, like, hey, can you come talk to me? I had nothing. It was just an hour of me rambling about shit, which at least now I know I can do. I can fill an hour if I have to. It's ridiculous.
I want to listen to that. Can you send that to me?
Absolutely.
That's fun.
I have no idea what I said. I have no idea what I talked about. None. I'm sure I talked about Julian Assange because that's my go-to for Phil, because I can talk about that forever. But I have no idea what I said.
I just found out that that Courtney Banks, who was on the show today, used to have a podcast where she interviewed comedians and did an episode with my friend Sam Tripoli.
Nice.
And the podcast like don't exist anymore, but I've got to hear that shit. Like, because Sam's crazy. And Sam from like a half a decade.
And I love Courtney.
The name of her podcast was Hot Chicks Aren't Funny, and she said she's thinking about bringing it back for a little bit. And I would watch that show.
I would watch
based solely on the name.
I love the Banks sisters. They're fucking fantastic.
It doesn't matter who's hosting that podcast. I'd pull up for 1 to 3 because it really takes 3 before you actually know whether or not you like it. I think if you give a podcast 3 episodes and you're like, then you're probably not going to dig it. You know, sometimes it makes a difference. I'm rambling too.
I'm rubbing off on you.
No, we gotta go. We gotta get off.
We gotta go. I gotta get ready to go on RBN. So next week we will have a more thorough tribute to Eric Levy. Obviously, we just didn't have the time to put something appropriate together, but we did. I debated on whether or not to even do the vigil, but I don't think Eric would have had it any other way. So we had to do the show. So we will have that for next week. And I would also like to have something more comprehensive about Joshua Schulte, the details, all of that stuff. If we get somebody, ads, hook me up with Matthew Russell Lee so we can talk to him. I'll send him an email. I'll send him an email again, or a DM, or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, and I'm getting ready to go be on RBN. So head over to RBN. Check us out. I'm going to be hanging out with Nick. We're going to talk about false arrests or fake arrests and invisible handcuffs. And all that fun stuff. It's going to be a good time. I need to laugh, so that'll be good. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for popping in, Steve. You guys, do you have anything coming up you want to plug real quick, Steve?
We've got Kim Iverson and John F. O'Donnell on the show tomorrow morning. We're working on a couple of people for Friday. There's stuff coming up with I don't know, all kinds of cool people. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
You guys had a killer lineup this past few weeks. So
it's been insane. It really had since right before we moved out here, but since we've been here, it's just been incredible. The lineup of people that we've had. It's even coming through the studio now too, and we're about to, if Pasta wakes up, go see Brett Ernst do some stand-up. And yeah, man, it's been really cool. Yes.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, do you have anything that we missed or we need to mention? Or
no?
You can follow Andrew. Oh, do your thing.
Follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zigman. You can follow us at action_4 Assange. Big shout out to Daniel because he's still holding down the Twitter account. So fucking huge props.
We love Daniel DeCeater. We love you, homie.
Yay, Daniel.
Okay. You guys know who I am, where to find me. I hate self-promotion, so just, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. And rest in power, Eric Levy. We love you. See you guys.